Welcome to Whachacha's Tabletop World, a channel devoted to the love of board gaming. My name is Sweetness Whachacha, and this is my overview of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game. If you would like to see my thoughts on the game, my brief thoughts, click the link here or down below. And now we're going to find out who will survive and what will be left of them. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a cooperative board game based on the 1974 famous horror film of the same name. Players will be working together to get the gas, keys, and get to the van before Leatherface can hang three of you on a meat hook. There's also a miniatures pack that you can buy to upgrade your game that at this moment is in pre-order, but you can purchase that separately and enhance your game. Over the course of the game, players will be moving around the board and revealing tokens as they enter spaces. These will be added to the hideous bag, changing the pool of available outcomes in the draw phase. Most of the game revolves around the draw phase. During this phase, players will be drawing tokens from the bag before deciding when to stop or being forced to stop by busting. You will be hoping to draw action tokens to use, but will risk drawing negative effects by drawing from the bag. Members of the Slaughter family will be added to the board to increase the danger to the players. Leatherface will be moving around the board pursuing the players, and if he catches you with enough damage, he will add you to the meat hook. After 3 characters are added to the meat hook, the players will lose the game. If they manage to get to the van with the gas and keys, and the hitchhiker is not in the van, those characters will score a victory based on how many of them survived. Players begin by picking a character, each of which has a special ability. Franklin, for instance, can look at the top 2 cards when he performs a search action. For an added challenge, players can add objective cards. You can draw up to 10 of these, split them as evenly as you can amongst the players, and they'll be representative of additional tasks to do, like meeting in specific areas of the board, drawing specific tokens from the board, or other little challenges that will just increase the amount of things you do and thereby the difficulty of the game. Players will all start in the van. Leatherface is the only member of the Slaughter family who starts on the board. He is placed in the killing room. Each round of the game will consist of 4 phases: movement, drawing, action, and cleanup. In the movement phase, players can move 0, 1, or 2 spaces. Each time a character enters a space from any effect, you will reveal any face-down token and add it to the tray. If it is the gas or keys, and you have room on your character sheet, you will add it to your board. Then on to the draw phase. This is the meat of the game, if you'll pardon the pun, in which case players will be adding tiles to this bag. Now, by adding tiles to the bag, you're changing the probability of what tiles you're going to be drawing out of the bag. So by adding good tiles in, you'll more likely have good outcomes. If you put bad tiles in, you're going to more likely have bad outcomes. You can choose not to draw from the bag. If you do draw from the bag, you will draw 1 tile at a time. When a tile is drawn, you will resolve its effect before drawing another. You are hoping to draw action tokens. Most other tiles have a negative effect when drawn. If you draw 3 matching non-action tokens, you are forced to stop drawing. Whether you are forced to stop or decide to stop, play proceeds to the action phase. If you choose not to draw, Leatherface will activate. More on that soon. Let's look at the various effects that the tiles produce when drawn from the bag. The bones have no effect, except of course when you draw 3 you bust and are forced to stop drawing. The eye will let you reveal another token from anywhere on the board, helping you search for the keys or gas, or to avoid other dangerous tiles. The photo allows you to look at the top card of the search deck and move it to the bottom. Action tokens are set aside for the action phase. Leatherface will move Leatherface towards the nearest character. If he enters a space with you, he will cause damage. The distance he travels and the amount of damage he does will depend on the lowest visible space on this track. The family token is added to the Slaughter family board. Let's take a closer look at the Slaughter family board. When you draw a family tile, you will place it face down so you remember if you drew it this turn, as it still counts towards you busting. When each of these tracks fills, you will add those enemies to the board. They each have their own effect, usually to damage characters. When you bust by drawing Leatherface tokens, you will add 1 of them to the board as well, and that will act as a clock over the game, increasing how fast Leatherface can move and how much damage he can do. And now to the action phase. If you didn't draw an action tile during the draw phase, then you'll skip this particular phase. If not, you can do one of the following actions. Move, which we discussed earlier. In addition to normal movement, you can also move through a window or door space. It is the same as normal movement, however, you can choose to take a wound and break the window or door permanently and pass through it for free. Pickup. This will allow you to pick up a face-up tile from your space, presumably a helpful tile to be added to the bag, or a winning tile like gas or keys. This is only really relevant for dropped items or items revealed by the eye tile. Search. On a named space, you may draw the top card of the search deck, which feature random effects. Some are good, many are bad. Most will allow you to relive popular moments from the film. Push. You may push another character. If you push a friendly character, it can help uncover more tokens or move them to a safer space. If they are an enemy, you can push them away from you or into the road. Let's take a look at the road in more detail. The road acts as a barrier to Leatherface, but also, when using the search action, the truck will move one space down the road in a loop. If it hits a player character, you will take a wound. If it hits a Slaughter family member, they will die and permanently leave the game, except for Leatherface, who just moves back to the killing room. Your character can receive an unlimited amount of wounds. However, when you reach 3 wounds, 2 things will happen. Firstly, in the movement phase, you will no longer get a free movement. Secondly, if Leatherface enters your space and you have 3 or more wounds, he will take you and stick you on the meat hook. And remember, only 3 times can this happen before the game will end in defeat. And finally, the cleanup phase, where you'll take the revealed tokens from the tray and add them to the hideous bag. Now there are a few extra rules that I didn't go into about Leatherface getting enraged, cards to draw when you die, and ways to save yourself from the meat hook, but that's the bulk of the game. At the end of the game, if you win, you will score your victory as follows. There's also a solo mode, which features just a slight rules change, which is a little strange since it's a cooperative game and you can just control multiple characters, which you do, but there are some additional rules there, but it plays basically the same. And then there's also a nightmare style mode where you can turn up the difficulty a little bit by drawing an extra tile if you happen to draw a Leatherface tile. So there's an additional dial of difficulty there. And that's the game. If you'd like to see my brief thoughts on the game, click the link below. But now, I gotta roll.